appreciated that you touched on JMI. You touched on Mark Pope and his recruiting misses. You really touched on all of it because it's not just a one person or one entity issue.
Yeah, it was a thing where we just went into it going, what do we want to know about? What do fans need to know about Kentucky basketball's recruiting? Why haven't they landed a commit? And then you just have conversations that take you down different avenues, and eventually we have a lot of different subcategories and reasons for what's going on. It's not a catch-all issue.
Well, it was a great article. It got the attention and reaction from so many people. And if you have any questions for Jacob, feel free on the Game Day Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. Did you get any reaction from somebody that may be disgruntled? Did anybody from UK say, we don't appreciate this is wrong? Did anybody follow up?
I have not heard from anyone at UK. I don't know. Last I checked, my bosses hadn't heard from anyone, so I would think that they would be the people that would hear from it before I do. But so far, I've gotten a lot of good reactions. Obviously, social media, you're going to get some negative reactions, but no one coming at us with anything too crazy.
Yeah, let me unmute myself first. Jacob, you kept me in the dark, actually. I asked you, like, what was this story going to be about? And you were like, I don't trust you. I'm not going to tell you until this comes out.
I'm still not going to tell you. It's a day. It's been out for a day. I'm not going to tell you.
I think, I was telling TJ, you're not a Kentucky fan. I think that actually gives you like an interesting perspective into all of this. Your emotions aren't tied into this. Other than I think like Kentucky doing well is good for business. But outside of that, I thought your criticism of everything was very fair. As a Kentucky fan, what should I be the most concerned about? Is it all of the above, or what's the easiest fix? What's the easiest one to fix? I mean, I kind of suggest maybe Mark Pope, just maybe get some feedback from that.
Yeah, that's kind of the hope. I would think that the Pope things would be the easiest thing to fix. I think you fix the on-court product, that will definitely help. And yeah, it's hard to say which one thing can be easiest fixed, but I think, yeah, one thing is just clarity with NIL conversations. You have to have that in today's day and age. I don't know if the JMI thing is making that difficult, but every other school is doing it, so it has to be something that you can do. So I would think that some sort of clarity when you're having NIL discussions with recruits is an easy fix.
Well, that to me, that was the most alarming quote. I think it was from an agent that said, basically, no other school has anything even remotely like this in their contracts. Is that a full like understanding of what the contract is? Like, do you think that agent fully understood what the limitations were? Because I wondered if the language is just confusing, I guess. But I guess you've heard that from a few people. Is that right?
Yeah, it's really the signing away of NIL rights that would be untouched at any other school. That's what's really unique to what Kentucky does and what is, in my opinion, harming Kentucky's recruiting efforts.
Love to hear that.
You touched on so much in the article, Jacob, and make sure you go and you read it if you haven't, and following along with Jacob and Jack and all the good work that they do over at On3. One thing that I didn't see mentioned in the article, but you hear behind the scenes, is that Mark Pope's a bit of a cheeseball. Is that hurting his recruiting?
I don't think so. In conversations I've had, it seems like the Mark Pope aspect, once they get towards the finish line, his personality is what his personality is, and if you're getting to the finish line with a recruit, the personality gets you in the door, and they're already in the door. So I don't think the cheeseball personality is anything that there's a lot of things that fans should be concerned about given this article, and that's very low on the list.
Okay.
Well, I know there was some conversation. There was something in the post about him being too emotional at the closing table, and he does talk a lot about wanting guys to want to wear that jersey. I know I just hit the mic, so I know that sounded terrible over the air, but he wants guys to be excited to play for the University of Kentucky. I've kind of argued, like, if you're not from here, or you grew up a Kentucky fan, you have to experience it first to love it, right? I was talking about the Notre Dame analogy. I didn't grow up a Notre Dame fan. If I was good at football and they recruited me, all I would know is Notre Dame has a big fan base. They used to be great, and they're going to pay me a lot of money. Well, that's kind of what maybe a kid who's 17, 18 years old, getting ready to sign with the school, all they know about Kentucky. They go to Final Fours, they go to national championships, they have a big fan base, they're going to pay me a lot.
Being Kentucky will get you in the room. It'll get you the conversations. But being Kentucky alone won't close on any kid. Like, you still have to have a lot of NIL negotiations and talks about fit and talks about what kind of impact you can make. I mean, recruits are seeing this team right now, and that's not exactly giving the best impression. We can talk about the JMI aspect, we can talk about the NIL, but at the end of the day, there's also the on-court aspect that matters, and being Kentucky can only get you so far if the on-court product isn't doing it.
Yeah, and I thought that was highlighted in the article with the UNLV transfer who went to LSU. You all talked with him or his dad about that. But I guess one thing that was kind of missing from that quote, though, is they never really said why not Kentucky, though. They said it wasn't anything Kentucky did or didn't do, but it just seemed like everything was locked up with LSU. So why is not everything locked up with Kentucky for any of these guys?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to answer on a general basis. I think that there are a lot of instances where maybe guys aren't getting to that NIL conversation stage of things because Kentucky feels like they want other players more. I think there's a quote in there in the story about from one source saying, I think they kind of knew what their number was, but they tried to save all their money banking on getting Tyron. So that plays a role in why you're not having those conversations a lot of the time, but it's going to push away recruits if you're not going to have NIL conversations.
What do you mean they're not having NIL conversations? Like, should that be happening faster?
They're not giving strict numbers.
Okay, so they're just saying we have the money. What do you? I like that quote that you had earlier where they were saying, what can we do? What do we need to do? When other schools, I guess, are saying, here's what we have,
yes,
and here's what we can offer you.
And I'm not saying they're doing that with every single recruit. Obviously, when you get down to it, at some point you're going to have to give a direct number. But I think that that's coming very late in the game with a lot of these recruitments.
Do we need a GM?
Yes.
Just that simple?
Yes.
How would a GM help in this situation?
It just takes a lot of responsibilities off Pope's back, where Pope can deal with the higher level stuff, the on-court product, and have a GM that is solely focused on recruiting players and finding value in the transfer portal and on the recruiting ranks. So it just takes a lot of responsibility off of Pope's back, and you can see it in these press conferences. Pope looks like he's overwhelmed, and one way to be less overwhelmed is by delegating responsibilities to someone else, and a GM would take a lot of those responsibilities, and also hopefully you would get someone very experienced in this space that can provide a lot of different qualities that Pope isn't providing.
I would lean towards him looking overwhelmed because he's getting beat by 40 to every halfway decent team, but it's probably accumulation of all this stuff. It all builds. I have no doubt about that. Why would anybody say no to a GM, though?
Yeah.
Why, just because it's expensive? It's a cost? It could take some...
Lack of control?
Could be an ego thing?
I think lack of control is one thing. That's just one more person making decisions that you're not making.
But can't you be involved in the decisions also? Like, does it have to be the GM does it all or Pope does it all? I mean, they're basically saying we're giving you we're giving you an assistant to help you construct your roster, right? So why would anybody say no to that?
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's why I'm all for a GM. I think that there are so many. This stuff is so new that there are so many different ways you can structure a GM. Most are under the head coach and report to the head coach, but then you have instances like Stanford football with Andrew Luck, who is above the head coach, and so I think there are ways that you can structure this where you're not giving up all your control if you're Mark Pope, but you're filling the gaps that you're not currently handling at the best way you can.
Can we play a little game?
Sure.
Okay. Reasons for optimism. Why will this get taken care of, Jacob? And we won't hold you to this necessarily, but in your opinion, and you know more about this, you and Jack know more about this than anybody, why will this get fixed?
Because it's Kentucky basketball. Because there are enough people across the state, within the program, outside of the program, that are invested and need this program to succeed on the basketball court. That is the main reason why I think this will get fixed, because what's the alternative? There's no alternative. This is Kentucky basketball. It has to get fixed.
This is Kentucky basketball. You heard it here first. I love that answer.
From a Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
But the next
Also.
question is, why is Kentucky basketball cooked?
You got to go to KSR.com. You got to go to KentuckySportsRadio.com and click on this story, and you'll find those answers for yourself. We wrote 2,000 words on it, so there's a lot of reasons, and I think that we addressed it in the story. So it's hard to pinpoint one.
Well, and I guess your answer could be the article is why you're cooked. Look
Yes.
at that. You're not landing recruits. Your JMI deal's messed up. Your athletic director is your athletic director. Pope's getting too emotional. Which one are you more optimistic, or which one do you think wins out? Your optimistic reason or your pessimistic reason? In 3 years, if we look back at this article,
I think the optimistic reason. Like I said, there's no other choice. If we're talking maybe 6 months, that's a little more difficult. But 3 years, it's like if you don't have it fixed in 3 years, then it's bad. So
You become Tennessee football.
we don't want that. we at least they went to the college football playoff last year, though.
Good for them. What did they do?
Yeah.
I know. But Jacob, you talk to these agents a lot, and you get a lot of feedback from these agents. Is Mark Pope getting the same feedback from these agents and from these players' families and the players of what's not working, why they're not landing recruits, or is he not getting this? Because I feel like if I got that feedback, it might make me change some stuff. Do you know if he's getting that?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's coming from agents, from parents. They're hearing a lot of different things, and I don't know how much of it they're taking to heart. And I don't know. I'm not Mark Pope. I don't know what he's hearing. So I can only speak for what I'm being told, and I'm being told all of this.
They should take it to heart. They should take it to Brooks. They should take it to all the assistants and the head coach. But yeah,
that was a good one. I like that.
Again, this is a hypothetical. No way to know for sure. If Kentucky was 7-2 or 9-1 or 8-1 or whatever, would this article have been written in your opinion?
Yes, but I think it would have been a very different article. Yeah. We've been working on this for a month, and if the different question is if they were 7-2, 8-1, and they had the number 3 recruiting class in the country, I don't think this would be written. Or there
would be no reason to.
Yeah.
No, it's a great point. And you could still write about, like, hey, there's some things with JMI that not everybody's super crazy about, or Pope had this happen in a recruitment. But, yes, it would be totally night and day.
And I want to make clear that I feel like there is a separation on a lot of these issues because JMI, this new partnership is from August, that I think that this is affecting the 26 class more than it affected the roster building for this 25-26 roster. Mm-hmm. So I really want to make that distinction that this is a variety of issues, and Pope deserves a lot of blame for this. JMI deserves some blame for this. But at the end of the day, if you really had a $22 million roster, you clearly spent for guys, and you had the opportunity to get guys, and the roster doesn't look like it was built like it should have been.
Well, that is actually that's been kind of, you and I have talked about that a lot, really, since the Georgetown game, where I was saying I don't think this was an overcorrection by Mark Pope necessarily. I think he just missed out on the guys that he really wanted. Instead, he got his second or third choices. Do you subscribe to that thinking?
Yeah, in some aspects. I think Jaden Quaintance was their number one, was up there among their top targets, I think, at his position.
And they got him because he's not going to play.
Well, there were other schools that were trying.
I'm sure. So, a lot of schools probably wanted Jaden Quaintance, but I'm saying, like, if your top target, and let's see, like, Jaden Quaintance could lead Kentucky to a Final Four possibly, right? But it's that they need Jaden Quaintance. I'm not saying that they don't, but if you're getting him with a huge caveat that he couldn't play in a lot of meaningful games early on.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think it's something that you knew from the beginning when you went after him, and it was a miscalculation in
but the other
not
players,
being able to tread water until he comes
Lamar
back.
Wilkerson, they're getting ready to play against him on Saturday. That was one that he would have fit. You would think, hey, you saw what Kobe Bryant did last year? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go.
I'm not to speak out of place here, out of turn, but based on what we read in the article, it almost seems like Lamar Wilkerson, that commitment to IU has nothing to do with JMI. They're almost absolved in that whole situation, and that falls squarely back on Mark Pope. Dude, he didn't want to have to play 22 minutes per game and have to share the roster.
How much of it is that?
Wilkerson is a very unique deal as well because they obviously hired someone very close to him, and Kentucky was never going to be in a position to do that. So I see that one as a different one, but I look at the Donovan Dent one where it really felt like they, I don't want to say never had a chance, but he always wanted to stay home, and they put a lot of resources into that recruitment. It's almost a misallocation of resources where you go after the guys that you know you can land, and it's something Duke does. It's like Duke doesn't get in a recruitment that they don't plan to win, and they don't have high hopes to win, and that's why Duke, if you hear Duke's going after a guy, you're probably picking Duke to land him.
That was something that Cal would do all the time, is just waste time on these recruitments that you just knew that they had no chance. Even when Cal was at UK, he was putting a lot of effort into Boozer. It was just like, dude, the Boozer twins are not going to go to UK and play for John Calipari. It's just not going to happen. And then I remember Jaleel Okafor, they went deep into that recruitment for no reason. Tyus Jones, those guys were clearly going to go to Duke. Yeah, that was something that Cal would do from time to time, and it seems like Pope has made that mistake as well.
And I'm not arguing against that because I completely agree with that, but I do think that Cal's whole messaging of not being a hat on the table definitely applies here. Of you don't want to just be a hat on the table. You want to be targeted, go after the guys you're gonna get, land them, and then leave no doubt on, hey, we can land the guys we want.
If this season keeps going the direction that it is, let's just say it's a ho-hum season, that may be even generous based on how it's gone. Do you expect some major issues for UK in the transfer portal this summer?
I would expect some major changes to be made before the transfer portal. Okay. And if those changes aren't made, then, yeah, they're going to have issues.
Okay. Is there anything JMI can do, in your opinion, that, like, snap your finger and make things easier, or is this much bigger? They have to go back to their board and restructure everything? Or is it an easy fix?
There's probably things that they can do, but we'll have to see those changes. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. South End Josh is in attendance. South End Josh, do you want to come up and ask your question, or do you want me to read it as you texted it in? Okay, he's going to have me read it. South End Josh wants to know, South End Josh here, literally. Jacob, where are you on the movie list I sent you on KS board at the end of the year? This is a good question.
I need to check that out. I need to see where I'm at on that.
He's a paying member.
I will say, I got a Kindle recently for my birthday, so I've been reading a lot. It's very good.
He took a lot of time to give you that list, Jacob.
And then I got a Kindle, and it's like I got to read.
Oh, the Kindle.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to read a lot, but I'm going to get to it. I'm sure there are some that I've knocked out. I've watched some movies. Let's see this thing.
Are you going to break it down live for us right now?
Oh, this could be bad because I don't know how many of these I've seen.
Look, I do wonder, Jacob, if the JMI stuff, we might see it work for football. I was asking TJ about this earlier on in the show, that the football players football and basketball recruiting is just obviously so different, but also like these basketball players it's a business. Each individual player is its own business. They already have, especially the high caliber guys that Kentucky's trying to land. Caleb Wilson might want to do something with Jordan Brand, so that's why he might go to North Carolina. But I think it's so different that maybe this JMI stuff will work for football, but having any restrictions on basketball players might be a little different. Is that possible?
And the thing is, I'm still looking for the email, and I need to find this movie list. Yeah, I think it can be different for football. I think that it's clearly working for women's basketball. I don't see why it couldn't work for football. Basketball feels very unique in this aspect, but obviously basketball is the most important thing when it comes to Kentucky.
Right, and the basketball is the one sport that Kentucky, like, you go out and you try to get the best, the best of the best.
I found the movie list.
Oh, we found the movie list?
Found the movie list.
All right, before we get to the movie list, one other texter says, Mitch leaned into the name on the front in an era where that couldn't matter less. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Like Mark did that too.
Yes, I think that's a fair criticism. I think that you need to have a balance. You can't just Steven's not happy right now. You need to have a balance because you can't lean all the way on the name on the back because you're gonna have unselfishness, or you're gonna have selfishness, and nobody's playing for a championship. But you have to have that balance where guys can come here and have a future. Nobody's going to college to be in college forever as much as we all want to be.
They're on 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And so,
But leaning into the name on the front, I think, was getting a guy like Mark Pope who could right away connect with the fan base because he does understand what that means. He knows what it means to wear the Kentucky jersey. And the idea would be that once he got the guys, he could instill that into his culture. That what's the quote they play all the time? These guys are going to know right away what it means to put that jersey on, or whatever.
And the assignment.
Yeah. But I think that stuff is great after you got the guy. Because like I said, why would Tyron Stokes care? Why would John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins didn't care? They were going to Memphis. Kentucky wasn't on their radar with Billy G. They came to Kentucky. They had success at Kentucky. Now they are Kentucky fans. Now they understand the culture. They understand the assignment. They understand what this means. They understand why it was so important for them to play at Kentucky. And I think it's something that you learn. It's not something that you have to know to be a Kentucky basketball player. You don't have to. I don't care if you grew up a Kentucky fan or if you know, oh man, I just dreamed of putting this jersey on. No, but by February of your first year there, I think that should be like pretty evident that this is special. But you're not going to know that going in.
you have to put Minority Report on this list of movies because I just watched it the other day and it is excellent. So
it is.
There are a lot of movies.
I
on here I
literally
have
called
seen
him because I was like, I just need to call Jacob. He's one of my friends. I want to talk to him, and this is during his vacation, so he's like, I'm watching what movie were you, or what show?
I was watching Minority Report.
You're watching Minority, so I'm like, Jacob, what do you think about what's going on? He's like, oh, what do you think about Minority Report? I'm actually watching that right now, and I took that as the social cue to be like, he does not want to talk about Kentucky basketball. He wants to go back to his show. He's on vacation. Jacob's only my friend when he's on the clock.
Gotcha.
Off the clock, though, I don't want to interrupt his watching of television or movies.
I have some dancer friends who had a similar setup there. Jacob, Jonathan texted into the show, and he wants to know,
Hey, Jonathan.
who is most at fault for where UK is now?
Mark Pope. It's Mark Pope.
I think Shaden Sharp, actually.
Stephen.
So,
Peake.
no, I'm telling you. If Shaden Sharp would have played in 21 or 22 or 22 and 23, they go to a Final Four in one of those years. John Calipari's still the coach, and things are still rolling, and Cal has the pressure taken off because he releases the pressure valve because he went to a Final Four. Shaden Sharp, 100% the reason that Kentucky basketball is in the situation that it is in.
Let me tell you why you're wrong.
No, I love to hear. I love to learn.
The answer is KSR. It's always KSR.
I forgot. We got to the blame KSR part of the season a little early this year, but there is a point in the last 6 or 7 years now where KSR does get blamed. Did you ever get blamed when you were working for KSR? Did they ever start? It's TJ Walker and his hardly committed.
I had some football fans back in the Cats Illustrated House of Blue days back in when UK lost to Florida in overtime.
That was your fault.
The people were like, fire him, he's basketball first. I'm like, whoa, take it easy. Everybody calm down. But no, I haven't been on the receiving end of too much scrutiny in my day. But what else is on this movie list, Jacob Polacheck?
Sorry, I'm writing a reply to South End Josh, letting him know I'm checking back in the movie list.
He was letting you know he's checking back in the movie list.
Flowchart
of Halloween movies, very
I did watch.
seasonal.
I did watch the first Halloween movie. That was a while ago now, but
around Halloween.
the
first
Halloween
one?
is what they're calling it nowadays.
What do we have on this list that you haven't seen?
That I haven't seen a lot. I did watch Black Mass. I haven't seen A Time to Kill.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love Training Day. That's a great movie. Deja Vu. I feel like I watched that.
Are you having deja vu?
Having deja vu.
See.
Entirely too many movies.
There's a lot of movies on this list.
What is this, a movie list for your lifetime?
The ultimate movie list. It is the ultimate movie list.
Okay, not every Lethal Weapon needed to be on here. That's a few too. I didn't realize there were.
How many Lethal Weapons are there?
I've decided I'm just going to watch Lethal Weapon 4 and not watch any of the other ones. I hope that's a good one.
Silence of the Lambs is on the movie list.
I have seen Silence of the Lambs. That's a really good one.
Da Vinci Code?
I have seen Da Vinci Code. I don't know if that really deserves to be on the ultimate movie list. It was fine, but it was good.
That's you're going to be busy with that movie
Yeah.
list. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Steven, do not call me.
Wizard of Oz is on there.
Oh, I did. I started watching Wicked recently, and it is far too long.
It was last
Have you
night.
seen
He started watching it last night.
Fever
Is that what
Pitch,
had?
Fever Pitch.
my dad is in Fever Pitch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Is your
Yes.
dad Johnny
The,
Damon?
the British version or the American version?
There's a British version.
There's an American version? No, yeah, there is. Because it was based on the book written by Nick, whatever his name is. He's an Arsenal fan, right?
Do you see that guy
Fever
in this
Pitch.
room right now?
Oh, no. But Nick Hornby, he wrote the book Fever Pitch. It was about him being an Arsenal fan. Then they made the Red Sox one that was
My dad's in
similar.
the Red Sox version.
Is he a Red Sox fan?
He was at one of the games. No, he's not. He's a Brewers fan. Go Brewers.
So he's just in the background?
He's in the background. Yeah, but he's still.
Does he have any
fulfilled.
lines?
No, he is
Go
in the
Brewers!
background at one of the games. But if you listen really closely, you can hear him talking to my uncle. You can actually, but
How
can
many
pretend.
scenes is he in?
I think 2. I think he's in 2 scenes. So.
Does he kiss anyone?
He does not kiss my uncle.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Fever Pitch, great movie.
Yeah.
Though. Watch for Jacob's dad and
Yeah.
his uncle.
That is a good movie, and it's a movie that explains sports fans. I'm big into the psychology of sports fans.
Okay, Daddy's Home. You can just delete that one. right off the list.
I saw.
Take that one
I did.
off.
I watched that one on a plane once. It was,
Super Troopers, Happy Gilmore, Big
seen
Lebowski,
both of
Office
those.
Space. These are all good. Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers. Scratch it.
Why Meet the Fockers scratch, but Meet the Parents
Meet
good?
the Parents is funny. And
Meet the Parents is
Fockers
great.
is just okay.
Can I
Did they
say,
try too hard to be funny and Meet the Fockers?
Yeah.
I felt
can I
like?
say a
It's a
hot take on
sequel.
that trilogy?
Wait, there's 3 of them?
I recently watched all 3 with my girlfriend, probably maybe a year ago. It wasn't that recently. Third one is underrated. Third one is funny. I'm sorry.
Third one is not a good movie, but it may have funny moments. That's the one
it's-
where like
it
the
was
son,
way better than I
the-
expected.
The kid looks like Ben Stiller. that
Yeah, he's
grows
got the
up.
2 kids.
Yeah.
It was way funnier than I expected, so take that for what you will.
All right.
Do we have to go to break?
We do.
Okay.
Do you have one more thing?
Well, there's a good tweet where we got Jacob here. I don't know if he's sticking around for the second or for the last part, but just tuning in, you may have already answered this. Percentage chance we can get one of Stokes, Collins, or Holt.
Wait, what's this have to do with movies?
Oh no, I don't think this is a movie.
Oh, that you get one of them. I'd say 45%, but it's. I don't know. It
Low.
It
feels
seems
like
not
it's-
too long ago there was a time Kentucky was 90% sure to get just one of them. Yeah.
maybe. It's tough when you lump them all together.
Bruce Branch. Is that his name?
I don't think they're getting Bruce Branch.
Okay.
Are they going to get anybody?
They will have a basketball roster next season.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Going JUCO route. Going to the G League.
Jacob Polacheck.
Yeah, you
Jacob Polacheck. Get it right, everybody. Get it right.
Gonzaga. Is it Gonzaga or Gonzaga?
Gonzaga.
Polazaga. We're back. One final segment. Kentucky Roll Call coming up next, live from 5 Iron Golf on 4th Street in downtown Louisville.